I finally found this commercial. Up until then, the last time I had seen this commercial, I saw this commercial only one time. It was back in 1985. I was in the 6th grade. And it made an impression on me. It caught my attention because... Well, just watch the commercial. I'll show you.
We sell more breakfast biscuits than anyone. With that homemade taste. No one can take our place. We're Hardee, oh yeah. We sell more breakfast biscuits than anyone. With rise and shine, made from scratch, oh so fine. We're Hardee.
That woman right there. When I saw her, she made me think of Lisa Peace. I was kind of enamored with Lisa Peace. Now why? Why does this woman remind me of Lisa Peace? Who was Lisa Peace? Lisa, capital Piece. Okay, I was in the 6th grade. My Uncle Mark came over to visit. And me, my dad, and Uncle Mark decided to go to the mall, to the video arcade, to take 10. I was so excited. I went with him. I'm not sure. Jamie, me and my brother Jamie went with him. Went with them. I was excited because I was going to play some video games. When we got there, and we went separate video games, and I dropped a quarter in the slot of the video game Galaga, and it didn't take. Hey,
you've got to find that.
I think it was socks.
Where are they?
In the dirty brush.
Well, and your shoes, sniff them, and then after I start my watch, I need you, or you won't have anything to sleep in.
Okay. Oh.
Pillowcases.
Okay. Well, agitated, I went up to the place where the attendant was, and I saw it was a good-looking blonde woman. That video game took my quarter, wouldn't give me a game. She's like, hold on, just hold on. I'll get it back to you. And she looked good. And she came out from behind the door, took the key, opened the Galaga, and she said, I'm going to give you 2 quarters because I want to see if you can beat the high score. That made an impression on me. Here this was, this good-looking blonde woman giving me a free game. So I played. I beat the high score. I was happy because I went back up there and told her I beat the high score. And I started talking to her. I guess I wanted her to be my friend because she was good looking. I wanted her to think highly of me, think I was to like me. Back then I didn't care about being seen as good looking. I had not yet turned into that. Back then I wanted the good looking girl to love me, to admire me. I like who I am better now than what I was then. And I started talking to her about my war with the Yellow Jackets. Why? Which stands for Yellow Jackets in the same way that V stood for Visitors for the mini-series back then in the 80s. I was heavily influenced and profoundly affected by V. I loved the V, so I had a 7-day war with the nest of Yellow Jackets, and that was how I got my self-esteem, because I was able to defeat the nest and gain victory over them. So I started telling her a story. I'm like, I can tell you more stories about this. If I just have your phone number. She's like, but I was pretty much high. Then not on drugs. I was feeling pumped up. So I found my dad and Uncle Mark. They were looking at somebody playing the game Punch Out Punch Out because they were in they were fighters and they liked this game. They liked. And finally, it was time to leave, and we went. Got in the car. I saw Dad put his can of beer underneath the tire, and before he put the car in reverse, he said, "I wanted to hear if you hear something." Crunch. I laughed because I was already feeling good about having this good-looking woman, and I forgot how I found her number, but you know. I looked in the phone book for peace, for every name Piece. I finally found out number of where she lived. Sometimes I would call to take 10 to talk to her. But I came in one day, and Dad said, "Chris, do you know Elisa?" Uncle Mark was there. Again, it was a Saturday. I'm like, Elisa. I thought he was talking about Alicia Hill. That I didn't think he said person named Lisa. I thought he said, "Do you know Elisa?" I didn't hear the word name Lisa. I heard Elisa is one word, one name. And I could only think of Alicia Hill. Well. Dad said, "Well, she called." Oh, then I remember who that was. But I didn't want to tell Daddy about that because I was embarrassed I was embarrassed for anybody to know that I was into the good-looking girls and I wanted to be friends with the good-looking girls. I was embarrassed. I put up a smoke screen. I see a good-looking girl on TV and I would say, "That girl's ugly." So good a smoke screen I put up that Mom even asked me that one day, "Chris," she was afraid I was turning gay. She's like, "Chris, you do know girls, don't you?" I had to admit it. Anthony, I damn sure do not want to be thought of as gay. Nasty. Laugh out loud. Well, I was cooking some sorghum burner soup on the stove, and the phone rang. And they gave it to me, and it was Lisa. She said, "Hey, what do you want to talk about?" But because everyone's within the kitchen, I didn't want anybody to hear my conversation. I'm like, "Can I call you back later?" So, but after that, I tried to call, and I was told by her roommate that she was. Where I called one time, she was working at her other job at the factory. I could never get in touch with her. One day I was sick from school, so I stayed home. When I was alone because my mom and dad, my mom was working at the hospital and my dad went somewhere to do an errand, so I called her. And my roommate was like, "What you doing calling at quarter of 9? Aren't you supposed to be in school?" I'm like, "No, I'm sick today." Finally, the closest I came to get her on the phone again was I called her, and it was her husband. He's like, "Why do you want to speak to my wife?" I was trying my best, but he would not put her on the phone. But she was there. Because I asked her, "Is Lisa there?" He's like, "Yeah." "Can I speak to her?" "Who's calling?" "My name is Chris Cleveland." "Why do you want to speak to my wife?" And finally, I gave up. But that was not the end of the story. One night, after Mom had got home from work and Dad was at work at the post office, we got a call from Lisa's roommate, and Lisa Peace called and had a conversation with my mom. Oh, I was embarrassed and I was afraid. Mom was livid. I was so embarrassed about her thinking that I wanted to be a friend with a girl, so I told her, like, my classmate, I left my number, I had a number, I left the number at school. I think my classmate Johnny Wilson took it. And mom bought a shot, so because your classmate slandered your name, you're in this trouble. And Dad told me when he got home, Chris, get rid of that number. Don't call her again. Anyways, this girl, Lisa Peace, at the time I was still trying to call her on the phone before, the shit hit the fan, I was watching this commercial right here. I was feeling good. And I was watching this commercial, and it got to this one right here. And it reminded me of Lisa Peace. I thought, that looks like Lisa Peace. And I just knew I had to call her and talk to her. Yeah, Mom, when Lisa Peace herself spoke to my mom and said, I kept calling and her roommate was always there to answer the phone. But when I first spoke to Lisa, Mom was like, you talked to her about yellow jackets? Chris, why are you always talking about yellow jackets and bugs and insects? That exasperated her, that immaturity on my part. That's the story of Lisa Peace and the Take 10 Video Arcade. So what you got to say about me now? If only I was a good looking guy. If only I was not so goddamn fat and not so goddamn old looking, I'd be so happy. If only I had those longer forms. After this all went down, I was forbidden to go to the Take 10 Video Arcade in the mall. Every time I was asked to go. It was a Saturday night when all this happened at the video arcade. When I met Lisa Peace, it was a Saturday night. I forgot to mention that. So when I was allowed to go to the video arcade, it was a Saturday night. I was hoping Lisa Peace would be there, but I never saw her again working at the Take 10. Other than that one time I saw her when I first saw her. She didn't work there anymore. Even though I tried to call the Take 10 many times, not a few times, she was never there. I remember, I think it was Cliff, he was the manager. He's like, no, she's not here. He was kind of snarky. But anyways, I was forbidden for quite some time for going to the video arcade. Well, I tried to, whenever they go to the mall, I tried to sneakily ask Mom, can I go to the mall to play the Take 10? She's like, no. I'm like, why? Because of that girl. What you did to that girl. So, that's the story.
Me, but instead you stood above, you spit me out, you kicked me down. I hate your